Hey everyone, how's it going? It's your boy Skilled Fawn, and today we are going to be doing a Star Wars Republic Commando challenge run. Let's waste no time and get straight into the rules. Starting things off, we must use the pistol. The player starts with a DC-17M blaster that can be upgraded with attachments throughout the game. These include grenade launcher and sniper attachments. When the player runs out of ammo in their primary weapon, the pistol will be taken out to be used. This will be very interesting to try since a lot of the enemies are super tanky. Branching off of that, grenades and CIS Trandoshan weapons are not allowed. The game will be played on hard difficulty. Next, we must beat the game. Lastly, glitches and or exploits are allowed, so expect some cheeky ways to take down enemies and get around areas. The OG Star Wars games are some of my favorites, and so I'm excited to share this with everyone. Let me know down below if you'd like to see more Star Wars content in the future. Make sure to smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into the run. Start the journey with a cutscene explaining commandos and their battle superiority over their common clone brethren. Eventually we get this curse scene. Meeting our squad, we take off for our first mission. Landing on Geonosis, the first battle of the Clone Wars, we witness it brutally firsthand. Starting things off, I have to use all the ammo in my current weapon. I do this because the pistol is only usable when the player has no ammo. Shortly after equipping the pistol, we move onwards. In these first few levels, there are a ton of battle droids. They're equivalent to your standard enemy in other games, health-wise. Later on, things will get much more difficult with different enemy types. One thing I should mention about the pistol is that it has infinite ammo. There is a downside though, using too much of the gun's energy will cause the player not to be able to fire it. Because of this, firing in quick bursts is most beneficial. Another downside is the low damage, compared to every other weapon in this game. I'll be talking more about this weapon throughout the run. Sooner or later we get to a crucial point in the mission where grenades must be used in order to advance. My previous challenge run for this game, this was also a point where I found myself trying to find a way around without using them. Well, unfortunately there isn't. Grenades have to be used here. On the upside though, there aren't many areas in the game like this, or we are able to bypass them. Meeting up with Scorch aka 6-2, we press onwards into the Separatist droid factory. Shortly after entering the factory, we link with 4-0 and slay some CIS battle droids. One cool thing that was used rarely during the campaign was the night vision visor mode. It would have been awesome to get a mission or level where it forces the player to use just that visor. One super cool detail that I like about this game is that if you are close to an enemy when defeating them, sometimes their blood or oil will leak on the player's visor. Connecting with the last member of Delta Squad, 07, he shows off some of his moves. We're now tasked with eliminating Sun Fac, one of the Separatist leaders. Nearby troops are quite difficult to deal with, but not as difficult as the super battle droid that comes in from the nearby room. These droids have a lot of health, and on hard difficulty, makes these guys deadly. This was but a taste of their numbers and power. You'll see many more throughout the game. The level ends with us taking down Sun Fac by shooting his ship out of the sky. In a subsequent level, we are tasked with destroying a Separatist jamming device. We must go through these Geonosian caves. Warriors and other things lie in wait for us. Getting to the jammer, I dispatch one of the commandos to deal with the bomb planting. The other troops and I will provide covering fire. Now there is one thing I absolutely enjoy the heck out of when I play this game, which is that you are able to command your troops' actions and positions. From telling your squad to hold down a specific location to
you back to now,
and having them in turret emplacements. Each playthrough is fun and unique. It is unfortunate that not many games have mechanics like this, but especially another Star Wars game. I mentioned how tough the super battle droids were not too long ago, and well, this is a perfect example. When nearby to my troops, they absolutely decimate them. It doesn't help that the commandos try to melee them back. Like, no sir, they have 8 times your health. Needless to say, there is a lot of suffering in these sections. It definitely felt satisfying though to take them down. Because we destroyed the jamming device earlier, this gives us exact coordinates on the power conduit system in the droid factory. Placing 2 charges alongside defeating numerous enemies surrounding the site, we finish the level. As the next level is being shown, let me explain the mission system in this game. I will say mission and level, but these are not synonymous. There are 3 missions in total, with various levels spread throughout. The first mission takes place on Geonosis and has 4 levels. To my knowledge, there isn't a way to mission or level skip. We must go through each one. Now regarding the current level, this is one of the most challenging sections of it. When the player spawns in, numerous Geonosian warriors will attack Delta Squad. One of them is an elite warrior with this beam type rifle. If this hits me, I am basically finished. If my squad mates on the other hand get hit, they're a bit more durable, but will still melt their health. Another thing is that the basic Geonosian warriors will respawn through the first few sections, so it is a constant battle. The subsequent areas were not any easier since countless battle droids and super battle droids came at us. It didn't help that I was the sole survivor and had to rally my troops back to the side of the living. An awesome section within this level is when the player has to stop Geonosian reinforcements from entering the nearby window. If not blocked, the enemies will keep on entering. I tasked 4-0 with slicing into the console and had the other members of Delta Squad providing covering fire. Trying to find a way around the ray shielded door, we make our way to a nearby entrance. Unfortunately, this puts us in the eye of the CIS's most powerful weapon, which is the spider droid. This thing has a ton of devastating attacks that will one-shot me and two-shot Delta Squad. Let's just say that, yeah, this was a rough section. At the end, we have some help from a Republic gunship that blasts the door leading into the core ship. This next section was one of the most difficult levels of the mission. The player needs to navigate solo through super battle droid dispensers with the goal of deactivating the factory's production. Each Delta Squad member has a different task, and so we will link up later on. Having to fight super battle droids while I have my squad is tough, but even more so when I have to do it solo. I made sure to play things extremely cautiously, making sure to use the environment to my advantage. The final level in this mission, Delta Squad is tasked with gaining access to the bridge and slicing into its main console. We unfortunately are timed in this mission. This ultimately made things much more difficult, with the pistol requiring a slower and more methodical playstyle compared to other weapons. On top of the hard difficulty, this was a recipe for disaster. I went through this level more times than I care to admit. From droidicas to super battle droids to the final holdout sequence, everything was against me. I had to adapt and overcome if I was to defeat this challenge. I played things much more aggressively in the later sections. The control console on the bridge was the toughest section for a few reasons. First is that the player has to hold out for a minute while a Delta Squad member slices the console. Second is that depending on the speedy and aggressive playstyle in the earlier sections, this will hinder or benefit the player. The faster the player gets to the control console, the more time they will have to play with on the bridge, whether it's healing or preparing for incoming waves. Yeah, this was a damn difficult level. It felt amazing when I was able to actually finish it and escape on the Republic gunship. It was nerve-wracking though, since I had such little time left at the end that I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it. Second mission, we were tasked with climbing aboard a lost Republic vessel to investigate what occurred. As I was unloading my weapon, I noticed that the skybox did not age well. Regarding the weapon dumping, I usually do this at the start of a level, unless it carries over from a previous one and I have my pistol equipped. Otherwise, when ammo and grenades refresh, I get rid of them. If you're interested in watching the full stream of this challenge or any other challenges I do, make sure to check out the VODs or Twitch channels. I post daily streams on there, so if you would like to support me besides the main channel, the links will be down below. The beginning sections of this level, the player investigates what is happening, but they must do it solo. As the mission progresses, more Delta members will be available. The reason for this is that they are sent on different secondary objectives, and some Delta members got ambushed by Trandoshan mercenaries. Let's talk about the Trandoshans. These are some durable dudes, especially the enemies that just super sprint at the player with knives. There are also these flying drones that sap your health super quickly. Needless to say, I struggled in these sections. Eventually my task was to access the ship's data core to get information on what occurred, while the player needs to hold off against numerous Trandoshan waves. I got taken down so many times. Whether it was the busted damage from the shotgun or the ferocious chargers, I was getting deleted near instantly. Sooner or later, I found this cheese spot where these sword guys couldn't reach me. Then I had a little dance party. This next section, when I pulled up hearing the gunfire and the sounds of clones dying, I knew I was in for a treat. This Trandoshan elite had this repeating minigun that would 4-shot me. You might be saying, Skilled Fawn, that's really not that bad. Well, when he fires 1,000,000 shots a second, it's basically instant death. Similarly to the solo section on Geonosis, I use the environment to my advantage for cheeky hits on him. Further in the ship, we find and rescue the other Delta Squad members and proceed to the bridge. Here we fight to gain access to the bridge and then must defend it while accessing its systems. The next sections are some of my favorites in this mission. The player must navigate to hangar bays to defend against Separatist command ship that recently entered outside the ship's orbit. The first area the player must defend against incoming waves of droid droppers. This is challenging since there are battle droids and super battle droids being deployed. Later on, we must retake a hangar that is infested with droids. Easily one of the most difficult sections of this mission. There are droidicas and super battle droid dispensers, so it took a while to clear through the bay. The final level in this mission has the player slice into different consoles to activate the ship's turrets. The CIS forces sent everything our way to stop us. I opted to place 2 Delta members in gunner emplacements, while myself and the last member sliced the consoles. It took a lot of patience and strategy, but we ended up activating the consoles. With our ship's defenses online, alongside the other Republic vessel lending aid, we destroy the command ship. The final mission in the game has the player and Delta Squad go to Kashyyyk. Our primary objective in this level is to locate Tarfall, one of the Wookiee leaders, and escort him to safety. As we approach Tarfall's location, we spot a familiar looking ship. Wonder who that could be. Receiving fierce resistance from Trandoshan mercenaries, it was hard to move forward in the compound. Fallen Wookiees can be spotted as you progress through the mission. This goes to show the brutal nature of the species. We make sure to rescue as many Wookiees as we can, and they repay us by flinging Trandoshans around. Eventually we get to see who was in that ship from earlier, and it's none other than General Grievous. Once he spots us, he flees, sending his bodyguards to do his dirty work. These Magna Guards are insanely OP, even more so than the droidicas or super battle droids. I completely forgot that they can fire lock-on missiles from their backs. Don't remember seeing that from the movies though, but I'm sure there's something in the books regarding that. Ultimately, we defeat the guards. The overall main objective of this mission is to repel the Trandoshan and Separatist forces. Clone Advisor tells us that we must go and place a bomb on the center of the bridge, thus hindering enemy forces. There were a few instances early on where things got really rough. One instance, I lost 2 of my squad mates to this Trandoshan elite. Another time was where my squad mates got gunned down by this turret emplacement. This mission and its various levels are the toughest of the tough. No Weenie Hut Jr. type shit. All the super tough enemies that we've seen thus far will be here and will be plentiful. Getting to the center of the bridge, we place the device and prime the detonator. Unfortunately, it was a dud, so we must find another way. Funny thing about this section is that usually the player picks up an RPG-like weapon and fires on the fuel line. Well, the pistol sufficed, which I was happily surprised. Subsequently, the game decided to throw like 5 Trandoshan elites our way. Let's just say death was in the forecast. Getting to a hangar bay, we are trying to find an elevator that must be nearby when bam, multiple Magna Guards come to mess us up. Thankfully, there were some turret emplacements that made things actually manageable, because otherwise it would have been hell. Progressing past the hangar bay and making our way towards the elevator, we face fiercer resistance than before. Let's talk about the pistol so far and how it's fared over the course of the run alongside some other things. On your average enemy, the pistol is not bad whatsoever. Yeah, it may not deal the most damage, but usually is a few shots to take the enemy down. Every other enemy will take an extreme amount of shots fired to take them down. For super battle droids and the other beefy enemies, grenades, grenade launcher, and snipers are perfect for shredding enemies' health. The CIS and Trandoshan Weaponry is also really good. Since we are forced not to use these, it makes things much more challenging. Another thing is that I have to alter my playstyle a bit and play more passively, usually opting to send the troops ahead, while I pick off enemies from behind. Since I don't have the damage to really push, I can't be aggressive. The infinite ammo is quite useful. If this were a sniper or grenade attachment only run, the ammo would be far and few, so it's nice not to worry about that. I'd say all in all, the pistol is far from the most optimal weapon and is a massive hindrance if used as a primary weapon. Let me know down below your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree? After securing the elevator and going up to the top, we receive our final orders in this game. Our goal is to destroy the CIS Dreadnought ship hovering over the city. To start, we get a warm welcome from a Magna Guard and Spider Droid. We'll be seeing this combo a few times in this level. After defeating the various CIS forces, we come to a point where we must part ways with 07. As the level goes on, things will get progressively more difficult since we lose Delta Squad members. This is because we're placing them in key locations around the Dreadnought in order to take it down. Easily the toughest section of this mission is the final area that the player must go through. With everyone else in turret positions, we must go in alone. There are tons of Geonosian warriors and hatchlings that charge a player. The warriors alone two-shot me, so I had to play this ultra passively, making sure to pick off one enemy at a time. Eventually, we hop on the turret emplacement and rain hell down on the dreadnought. It was a fun way to end the mission. One thing that wasn't fun was that 07 was taken from his position and is now MIA. On the upside, we learned that we were crucial in the Republic's efforts for Kashyyyk invasion, and we get to see Master Yoda. This was Star Wars Republic Commando with pistols only. This was super fun, yet challenging run to go through. I greatly enjoyed this game's mechanics, and so expect me to play it again in the future. What Star Wars challenge should I attempt next? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. This greatly helps to support me and the channel, alongside pushing the video out to others who may be interested. Try to do something kind for someone today, whether it's a small or large gesture. This is your boy Skilled Fawn, and I'm out.